What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the brand new Judgment Dragon Synchro monster that has finally been revealed. And going into this, I had the lowest expectations of this card in particular. And it's not because I thought the card was going to be just terrible or inherently bad or anything like that. It's because you really don't think of Judgment Dragon as like a splashable boss monster in the way that you would Dark Arm or Trishula, right? Like, you don't necessarily associate Dark Arm with one specific deck. You can run Dark Arm and Black Wings, or hell, even Element Sabers right now, because they can adjust their attributes in the graveyard. Same thing goes with Trishula, whether it be Plant Syncrho or X Sabers or even something like Crystron. But with Judgment Dragon, it's really only Lightsworn, and because of that, I thought Konami was going to probably lock this thing into only being able to be played in Lightsworn, with maybe it requiring like a Lightsworn tuner monster or Lightsworn monsters in the graveyard to be summoned or to use its effect or something like that. So I thought, okay, they'll probably make the card very powerful, but we're only going to be able to play it in one deck. So that was kind of my concern going into it. It's really interesting because Konami didn't do either one of those things, and basically we're basically left with a big pile of shit, right? Like, they didn't make the card powerful and they didn't lock it in the Lightsworn, and I just feel completely disappointed. Okay, so let's go ahead and break down Judgment, the Seraphic Dragon. This guy is a level 8 Dragon Syncro. It is light attribute, 3000 attack, 2600 defense. So far, that sounds like it's been copied straight from the original JD. The materials make it generic, as it requires one tuner plus one or more non-tuners, but at the same time, it's actually not generic because it says if you Synchro summon this card, all the material must be the same attributes. I don't understand this at all. Like, now you've already excluded archetypes like Six Samurai, where the attributes are all over the place. I mean, come on, Konami. If you fucking wanted the card to only be summoned in Lightsworn, then just fucking make it require like a Lightsworn card or a Lightsworn tuner or something like that. Don't lock it into just only having to have, one attribute, because yeah, there will be some archetypes like Crystron, but you also exclude kind of like all these crazy hybrid decks. Well, there are some of them like TG. Well, if anybody's playing that, you won't be able to summon it in TG, but all those players who run their Yusei Fudo junk decks, like, they can't summon this card now, and that's kind of unfortunate. So the first effect says once per turn, if this card was Synchro summoned and you have 4 or more tuners with different names in your graveyard, you can pay half your life points, destroy all other cards on the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dragon monsters. This is just terrible. Like, number one, to activate this effect, I have to pay significantly more life points than Judgment Dragon. In most cases, Judgment Dragon was just a straight up 1000 life points, and unless you're, I don't know, like 1500 life points, this is most of the time going to be a lot more than just 1000 life points. Second, like, what? I have to have 4 or more tuners with different names? What deck does that? Like, what deck actually can do that consistently? That makes absolutely no sense at all. That is a terrible, like, restriction. And then I can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dragons? Like, so are you telling me that I'm supposed to be running this in a dragon deck? Or I don't know. This is just so terrible. Anyway, second effect. Once per turn during your end phase, banish the top 4 cards of your deck. Okay, so that's even worse. That's like basically Lightsworns, but like even terrible, because you don't get to actually mill cards that would trigger Lightsworn effects like Wolf and Felis and other cards of that sort. What's the other one that I'm missing? The card Minerva. You don't get like cards in the graveyard where you want them. You actually banish them. What is there good about this card other than the actual stats? Like, this card seems like it's just bad on paper. The summoning conditions aren't good. The actual effect on field is decent, where you get the original Judgment Dragon nuke, but to activate it, you have to jump through these ridiculous hoops, and then its end phase effect kind of just fucks you over. So I don't know. This is actually, I thought Trishula was the worst one, but I actually think that there is a very legitimate argument that this card is worse than the Trishula Fusion monster. I don't even think that this card is worth the paper that it's been printed on. And yes, it's not technically a Lightsworn card, but that really terrible like Lightsworn Dragon, the one that goes in the main deck, I forget what it's called, but it was like the level 6 or something that no one ever ran even during the GX days. That card is better than this card. This is worse than any Lightsworn card that has ever been printed. So I really don't know what else to say other than no one's gonna play this card. Anyways, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. How disappointed are you guys in these 4 dragons? I'm going to have a full-on video about that and how much the Shonen Jump hyped these cards and how they just kind of ended up being incredibly underwhelming. Like, the Dark Arm card's good, Chaos Emperor Dragon is acceptable, but yeah, the other 2 pretty much bona fide shit. So thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.